by way of Bally's Park Place Hotel and Casino on the boardwalk in Atlantic City, New Jersey. Let's get ready to rumble! 12 rounds of boxing for the WBC Welterweight Championship of the World. Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner, wearing purple trimmed with gold and black, and weighing in at 147 pounds. He comes to us from Glasgow, Scotland, with a professional record of 41 victories, 23 by KO, against 5 defeats. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing the #1 ranked challenger in the world, Gary Kid Jacobs. And his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing the black, trimmed with red, and weighing in also at 147 pounds. This 1984 Olympic gold medal champion is one of only 4 fighters in boxing history to win 4 titles in 4 weight divisions. And he's considered by many to be, pound for pound, the best in the world today. Ladies and gentlemen, presenting from Norfolk, Virginia, the 4-time champion of the world and reigning welterweight champion of the world, Pernell Sweet Pea Whitaker.
This is you, baby. This is you. Just the Chief's second. Just the Chief's second. Pete and the Chief's second. Gentlemen, I've given you the rules of the World Boxing Council. I remind you now, there is no standing 8 count. If either fighter is in trouble and you do not want me to stop this bout, you must show me clearly that you can and want to continue. If you score a knockdown, be careful with the follow-up punches. Do not hit a man on the deck or you risk disqualification. On the champion's trunks, I'm calling this low here. On the challenger's trunks, he's wearing them quite high. Right on this mark, I'm considering low. Do you understand? No matter what happens, obey my commands. Good luck to you both.
Jim, 9 years ago, an unknown welterweight from Britain named Lloyd Hunnigan came here to fight an unbeatable, quotes around unbeatable, Donald Curry, and actually beat him in a monster upset. And that's what the Brits and the Scots are hoping for tonight.
Hunnigan out-hustled Curry, and Jacobs has promised to do the same to Whitaker.
Work your way out, no holding. No holding. Keep it clear. Nice professional work.
Uppercut by Whitaker, landed in close.
Watch your head. Watch your head.
If Jacob is smart, this is the type of fight he would try to have with Whitaker all night long. This type of fight, he doesn't get hurt as much, and it allows him to be able to land a few more punches.
So you recommend that Jacob stays at close quarters with Pernell?
It would be very smart on his part, I think. Pernell is such a slick fighter. Until outside, I don't think Jacobs really has much of a chance.
Jacobs coming in that time behind a lead left hand over the top. Statistically, Roy, he doesn't seem to establish the jab all that well. So how's he going to get back in once Pernell gets him out at punching distance?
He can either slip a punch, or he has shown a jab here early in this fight. Maybe he'll abandon it, but right now he is showing a decent jab.
Midway through round 1. Jacobs beginning to establish some of his offense in the last 30 seconds. First minute belonged largely to Whitaker.
No hold. Work your way out.
Early on, Roy, it looks as though Jacobs' plan is to go to the body and try to slow Sweet Pea down.
If he can keep this up, it'll be a much safer fight for him, because once he gets a little tired and starts to stay outside, Pernell will pick him apart. Jacob also seems to be a little bit stronger of a puncher than I thought he was.
Jacobs leaning in on Whitaker through much of the first round. Pernell stepping back, firing Sparing jabs and uppercuts. Jacobs with a pretty good right hand gets back inside.
It's a good right hook he's throwing at Whitaker. Whitaker is not used to seeing this because he hasn't fought very many southpaws.
Jacobs in that exchange beating Whitaker to the punch.
Stop punching. Step back. Full step. You got to step back. Box.
Lead left hand over the top again for Jacobs. So he's given Whitaker a little bit of everything to get inside here in the first round.
He's also, I think, Roy, a clever defensive fighter. It doesn't show so much, but he is being clever about not being there to be hit.
Right there you saw that if he stays outside on the end of Pernell's punches, he will get caught.
More on outside, okay? Let's just box this down a bit, all right? Look, in the inside, this guy who's running in with his hand, okay? Oh, look, you can't get no punches off right now on the inside. So you gotta be just going outside first, all right? Now just go with the good jab right now, okay? Use the good jab on the outside, step up. Now as soon as you get inside, start shooting uppercuts at him, okay? Because he's down right now.
You can try again, you understand? Nothing to tell you, you did it all, okay? Couldn't have wished for a better first round.
You can land it. Trust me, you can land it.
Don't forget, it was freeze, in freeze. There you are.
Jacobs was awkwardly and cleverly effective in the first round. Let's see if Pernell can solve his riddle.
Maurice Lewis, the trainer, telling Jacobs he could scarcely have had a better first round, and statistically, it looks as though he's right. Jacobs landing 42% of his punches. The norm against Whitaker is below 30%.
And most of this is because Jacob has stayed very, very close to Whitaker, which at what I told you in the beginning would be a very smart technique used by Jacob.
Even though he's a southpaw, Roy, Jacobs is one of those converted southpaws. He's right-handed.
Stop punching. Step back clean.
And that's another reason I think that right hook may become a problem for Whitaker if he doesn't start blocking it.
Well, and if he can establish his jab at all, then that right hook becomes a little bit more effective as a change-up behind the jab.
I don't think Pernell will allow him to establish a jab, though.
He's trying.
Yes, and he's trying hard. Pernell shouldn't sit there and bang with him. Pernell should go back to his own game, and that is to box, hit, and not be hit. He's letting Jacob allow this to be more of a Jacobs-type fight. And Jacob does not seem to have a left hand.
Throws it occasionally. You saw him lead with it there. By and large, when he's thrown the left, Roy, he's been leading with it.
And that's pretty smart because that would get him inside. And I think that's the only thing he really plans to do with it.
Whitaker starting to get more accurate with his jab here in the second round as he tries to step back to long range and pick Jacobs apart a little bit.
Like I said, if he stays outside, he can pick Jacobs apart, but he needs to stay outside. Pernell.
The accurate Whitaker jab starting to bring a mouse to the right eye of Gary Jacobs. Whitaker missed with the left. Crowd oohed and ahed.
Work your way out. Work your way out. Work your way out.
Hard right hand inside by Jacobs.
Watch those elbows, Gary.
Good hook by Whitaker on the way in. And all this outside punching that Whitaker lands.
Stop punching.
Those are the most effective punches that is being landed in this fight right now. Whitaker's outside punches.
The more he lands of those, the more discouraging he'll be to Jacobs as Jacobs tries to come in. That's a push.
You okay?
An obvious push. Ron Lipton, the referee, rubs Whitaker's gloves.
Whitaker shouldn't get upset here. I think he's kind of a little upset because Jacob pushed him down. He shouldn't get upset. Just stick to his game, and he will eventually figure Jacobs out.
Work your way out.
It's been a long time since Whitaker had a knockout in a title fight, Roy. Do you think he's hungry for one?
I think he is because he seems to be sitting down his punches a little bit more here.
You see how you pushed him around, right?
Good round, you're doing fine. You're doing fine. Be the boss, the more aggressive you are. Controlled aggression. That was a good round again. It's okay. You're going well. If you put pressure on him, he'll get tired earlier. Understand? You feel good, right? Good, fine. That's all. That's all.
I think this guy in a position all the time to come right back. Double up your jab. Double it up, baby. You're doing three of them.
Bear with the ground, baby.
Don't get here, Ruben. Stay in here, Ruben.
Look, the inside, give him a 3-4 punch combination, then walk around the guy. Now, that's the same thing I want to do on the outside. I'm doing a good jab, step around. But don't forget my face now, all right?
If we've loved Pernell Whitaker for his perfection, you have to like Jacobs for his imperfection. He's making the most of his ability through 2 rounds.
And he done one thing that he said he would do, which was dictate the pace of the fight. To make Whitaker fight when Whitaker doesn't want to fight.
Yeah, he believes that Pernell likes to take time off in there and get a little rest from time to time.
There's that right hook again that I warned you about. Good jab.
Step back. Watch the elbow, okay? Box.
Jacobs blocking Whitaker's jab and then left hook to the body.
Work your way out.
Gary Jacobs is fighting a very smart fight here for himself. He landed a left. Whitaker countered with a left. But this is a very smart fight for Jerry Jacobs.
It's hard to imagine Jacobs doing any better.
Well, I can't say doing any better, but he could do worse by staying outside and letting Whitaker dictate the pace.
Absolutely. I think Jacobs is doing about as well as he can possibly do with what he's got. And he's in the fight in these first 3 rounds.
Work your way out. Stop puncher. Step back. Full step back. Box.
That same right hook. Pernell needs to start putting his left hand up to his head when he sees Jacob come in, because he doesn't need to keep getting hit with that right hook.
Pernell countering inside and now fires the left cross.
Stop punching. Step back, please.
And I'm like you, I think he's very, very hungry for a knockout here.
If he is, in fact, hungry for a knockout, might he create some opportunities to Jacobs to score?
Well, he is creating opportunities for Jacobs to score, and he may find himself throwing less amount of punches than he plans to.
Okay. Box.
But he's still having fun, so.
Last time Pernell Whitaker scored a knockout in a title fight was 5 years, 15 days ago against Juan Nazario. But that was at 135 pounds. Ron Lipton warning Jacobs to watch the head. He took his cue from Pernell Whitaker on that one. An aggressive Jacobs still dictating the pace.
Work your way out. Work your way out.
And Whitaker gets a left over the top.
We will find out about Jacobs' conditioning in this fight. We'll find out if he was telling us the truth about those miles that he was running yesterday, because this will be a tiring fight, especially because they're fighting so much on the inside.
Yeah, this is hard work.
Very hard work.
Step back. Box. Get off the back of his head.
Little rabbit punch from Jacobs. He got one to the back of Whitaker's head and gets only a warning for it. If you don't do it again, that's good.
Right there is, pound for pound, the best ball player I ever saw, Willie Mays.
Number 24, the Say Hey Kid. Announced the weights at yesterday's weigh-in, and
now you got to start backing him up a little bit now, okay? But let's go with both hands now, okay?
Okay.
All right, look. Hey, look, don't give this guy no confidence now. Okay. You got to take the play away from him now. Look, you got to out-hustle him in the inside now. Okay, he's trying to out-hustle you. Okay? And steal the confidence right away from him in this round.
Come on, you got to
Right,
fight.
let's go. Come on, you got to be this round.
Coming out.
To deal with. Don't worry about that.
Seconds out.
Ronnie Shields, who is Pernell Whitaker's trainer now, understands exactly what's going on, and he's warning Whitaker not to let Jacobs dictate to him in those close quarters.
Stop punching. Step back. back clean.
Jacobs landing 51% of his punches in round number 3. Not too many at ringside would have anticipated that.
Stay off the back of his head.
And most of this is because of the inside fighting.
Stop punching. Step back. Keep him up, Gary. Box.
Larry, you mentioned Willie Mays being the best pound-for-pound baseball player you ever saw. You can get 2 for 1 here tonight. If you look to your left slightly, you can see the best pound-for-pound boxer you ever saw, too.
Where's that?
Roy Jones, bashful as always.
Well, I've only seen 2 fighters as good at their craft as Willie Mays was at his. Sugar Ray Robinson and Muhammad Ali. Your career isn't over yet. We'll see.
There was some good moments for Jacobs there while you fellows were discussing Willie Mays.
Jacobs got caught with a good right hook by Pernell Whitaker on the outside, may I add.
Work your way out. Stop punching. Step back.
I think Pernell has made up his mind that he'll go ahead and make an inside fight out of this if this is what Jacob wants.
If Pernell hasn't trained to the max and properly conditioned himself for a 12-round test, Jacobs might steal a round or 2 here because he is clearly ready to work.
I'm sure Pernell has trained properly. I'm sure he's in the best of shape because he knows he has to come out and keep performing.
Step back clean.
Or else that pound-for-pound thing will leave.
Yeah, it'll be gone, won't it?
And he knows that. And I think that's what we help one another in this instance.
Stop holding. Stop punching. Step back clean. Okay. Stop holding. Stop holding. Box. Stop punching. Step back clean. Whole step. Box.
Crowd excited so far to see a battle. To see Gary Jacobs in the fight, toe-to-toe with Pernell Whitaker and making Whitaker work for every point.
I think Whitaker's punches are starting to show some effect on Gary Jacobs' face. I see a couple of bruise marks that I think is from good crisp punching from Pernell Whitaker.
Yeah, there's a bump by the side of Jacobs' right eye that could get bigger as things go on. Pernell can target that with the jab.
Stop punching. Step back.
World Championship Boxing returns next month with boxing's real pound-for-pound best part-time commentator and full-time champion Roy Jones Jr. This is a night of boxing you won't want to miss when I put my undefeated record and super middleweight title on the line against Tony Thornton. Saturday, September 30th on HBO. Pound for pound, the best fighters in the world fight here.
From the horse's mouth, ladies and gentlemen, Roy Jones Jr. urging you to tune in for his own performance here on HBO, Saturday, September 30 against Tony Thornton, the punching postman, Roy.
He won't be delivering any letters come Sunday.
Don't let him tie it up. He's tying it up on you. Okay?
Okay.
Let's go, baby. Let's go.
Let's take a look at Whitaker's best punch so far, right on the big nose of Gary Jacobs. There you see it again from above. But so far, Mr. Imperfect is making Mr. Perfect look less than perfect.
Well, he's not really making him look less than perfect. He's just making it a rough night for Whitaker because he being a southpaw and Whitaker being a southpaw is enough problem. Then he's staying very close to Whitaker.
I think both eyes are swelling pretty rapidly now for Jacobs as Pernell starts to target Jacobs' face. Harold Letterman, how'd you score the first 3?
Jim, the first 4, I got it 2 rounds apiece, 38-38 in points. I got it even so far. I tell you, Gary Jacobs is in this fight. He's the aggressor. He's real good with that right hand. It's a strong right hand, giving Pete a lot of trouble on the inside. Also, he uses his elbows pretty darn good. He got that elbow in Pete's head the whole fight, and Ron Lipton sees it, keeps warning him. But in any case, it's a rough fight. Gary Jacobs certainly is in it. It's very close up to now.
Up came the elbow.
Warning. Second warning.
Second warning from Lipton. No penalty yet.
I have the fight scored the same way, Harold. I can't believe we agree.
Watch your heads.
This could be frustration on the part of Gary Jacobs. throwing the unnecessary elbows at Pernell Whitaker. Sometimes this shows that a fighter is starting to get frustrated because he can't have stuff his way. Or he could be getting fatigued, or he could start the punches.
Hard right hand inside by Jacobs. Or he could be thinking that he can anger and frustrate Whitaker and throw him off with such a tactic.
I don't think that's his opinion right now. I don't think those are his immediate intentions.
Okay.
Work your way out.
He's getting frustrated. He says Whitaker is holding him.
Stop punching. Step back clean. Box.
Punch stat numbers through the first 4 rounds showed Whitaker throwing more, Jacobs landing at a higher percentage. Jacobs is trying to get in close before launching every punch.
Work your way out.
He's hitting Pernell a little bit more than we expected, but like I said before, I think it's because of this southpaw stance. Oh, good shot.
4-punch combination for Whitaker.
Whitaker also is doing very good body work when they're on the inside.
Warning. Box.
Hard left hand over the top by Pernell.
Excellent counter.
Box. No holding.
If I'm correct, I think Gary Jacobs may have even went right-handed just now.
Stop punching. Get off the
back to a southpaw stance now.
Hey, let him go.
Pernell a little angry at himself for missing a left hand over the top and talking to himself as round 5 comes to a close.
This is like trying to dance to grunge music. It's not very pretty.
You done a lot of dancing to grunge music, Larry?
Yeah, I have, as a matter of
This is the time now to take over, all right? Before you let him get into the fight. He's not in it, right? This is the time to take over because they're going to try and G him up. Understand? That's it.
They're going to tell me he's going to have to do something, right?
Gary,
Let the shit go. When you throw that left hand over the top, bring the hook back. Okay. When you jab, turn your second shot under because you're ducking under.
You gotta go, baby. You gotta go. Come on, it's too
3-4
close.
punches, step around. 3-4 punches, step around again.
Let's go.
See that educated elbow, as you saw in close. Jacobs threw an elbow to the chin of the champion. Let's see if Jacobs' corner is right. They're going to get something else out of Whitaker in this round because they think he's a little frustrated.
Round 6 of a scheduled 12. Whitaker was able to land a right hand as Jacobs backed away, and now here comes the Scotsman trying to get in close again.
There he was right-handed again, so I was right.
work your way out. Watch your heads.
Pernell is doing very good work on the inside, especially when he throws the body shots, the short body shots. They are very effective. I think this is starting to make Gary weaken just a little.
Stop punching, step back clean. Nice and clean. Good. Box.
Great 1-2 combination from Whitaker there. Landed flush.
No holding it in.
Right hand backs Jacobs up again.
Work your way out.
Jacobs showing a pretty strong chin here.
Well, Pernell is not exactly gifted with punching power, Roy.
I think between them they couldn't scramble any eggs.
Full step back. Full step back. Watch those heads.
Jacobs getting in the hard right hand counter there.
Stop punching. Step back clean.
I say when you fight in 8-ounce red gloves, everybody can punch.
Well, but not everybody can finish, can they?
No, everybody can't finish.
Work your way out.
Pernell's last title fight knockout was a one-punch puree of Juan Nazario. He hasn't come close to doing something like that since.
As you saw on the outside just then, Pernell was able to take away with 3 good jabs and hit Gary with a good left hand. If Gary stays outside, he will get taken apart.
Step back.
Not getting inside with as much frequency now as was the case in the first 3 rounds.
Work your way out. That's it. Nice and clean, both of you.
People who don't understand boxing may not know what this means, but Pernell is in front of Gary Jacobs right now. He's starting to get off before Jacobs gets a chance. That's why he's being able to hit him more.
Oh.
With an artist like Pernell, you expect that once he's had a chance to see Jacobs' mode of operation and figure out what he's got, he can pick his spots more easily.
And that's why now he's also staying out in front of Jacobs. He knows where Jacob is going, so he's hitting him. Jacob has a bad bruise over his right eye right now, too.
Yeah, the right eye's been swelling since early in the fight.
Okay. Focus. Stop holding.
And it may eventually impair Gary Jacobs' vision, though I don't think that's the case so far.
Go with the jab and keep throwing the hook behind the jab, all right? That's working good for you right there. Now look, now this guy, he blew his nose the first 3 rounds now. All right, this guy ain't got nothing else, man. This guy got nothing. All he's trying to do now is he's just on adrenaline because he fights for the title now. All right? He's on adrenaline only now, baby. Come on now, suck it up. Let's go.
It's okay.
Everything quickly.
How do you feel? All right, downhill, you're halfway there. Okay?
Now listen, he fought desperate that round to keep yourself in the fight. Now you've got to keep it up. You've got to keep up the work rate.
3s and 4s, Gary. Don't keep looking for the singles. 3, 4 jabs, bump, 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 bump. Yeah. You're strong as a horse. Come on.
If he holds you with one hand, hit him with the other.
Wait.
Pernell wanted a dazzle and shine in his words in this fight, but some guys don't let you dazzle and shine, Roy. The other guy has something to say about it.
That's the thing about fighting these awkward #1 contenders. You don't know where they come from. You don't know what they know, what they don't know. You just don't understand anything that they seem to do.
Pernell Whitaker becoming more accurate with each succeeding round.
And as you can see, the range is starting to open up. He's not fighting as close as he was to Jacobs early in the fight.
Jacobs slowing down just a little bit. Whitaker able to use his footwork to stay ahead of Jacobs as they move around the ring.
Great 1-2 by Pernell Whitaker.
Hard left hand over the top, landed for Whitaker. Jacobs showing no ill effects, comes right back in.
Now you can see what I mean when I said Jacob has no left hand. He had 3 jabs to land in a row, but he couldn't follow up with a good left because his left hand is just not that well taught.
Almost never throws it except when he leads with it.
Like I said, he was just using it as an instrument to get himself closer to Whitaker.
Stop punching, step back clean. Full step.
Jacobs more and more in the position now of chasing Whitaker instead of beating him to a spot.
And this is Whitaker's fight. This is the fight they should have been fighting all along. But now, I guess Whitaker probably let him wear himself down a little, let him have his fun, and now Whitaker's starting to catch it.
Pernell's never had a knockout past the 6th round.
If Jacob keep walking into this left hand, he will tonight.
Step back clean. Clean break. Box.
Same left hand.
More damage to the right side of Jacobs' face. Whitaker now beating Jacobs to the punch in virtually every exchange. Fight has markedly turned Pernell's way in these last 2 rounds.
Because Pernell is out in front of Jacobs now, and Jacobs just cannot catch back up. This is what you call having patience. This is what the great fighters always seem to be able to do. Have patience, let the guy do what he has to do for the first few rounds, then you take over and you dominate the rest of the fight. This is what Pernell is doing right now.
Jacobs flailing with the right to try to get in, and Pernell countering effectively with the right directly on Jacobs' chin.
Stop punching.
Hit him, baby.
Box. Work your way out. Work your way out. Protect yourself, both of you. Go ahead. Focus. Both of you.
Round 7 coming to a close.
Okay, got it. All right?
Yeah.
All right. You're getting a little bit lazy, Gary. And I said, you got to remember, you got to work on the bases. You're nicking the fight, but you got to work on the bases. They're not going to do you any favors.
Yeah.
All right? If they can nick it off you, they will, and therefore you've got to do the work. Okay?
You've got to just get him involved with and
Give him a goggle, Maurice.
Can't miss him with the right hook, Pete. Can't miss him with the right hook. Come right back with that left hand.
Okay.
Right?
Look, as soon as you get close, go with that uppercut and then bring the hook right back, all right? Now that's all. Keep busting him up with that good jab, that good jab.
He's telling the referee just now to let you fight, so when you get in there...
All right?
I'm right back with that
Keep the
hook.
face going at him, all right? No, baby, he ain't got nothing else.
Sometimes the great athlete has more problems when the bar is lowered than when it's raised.
Work your way out.
Yes, and the other athletes seem to be the problem.
Right.
Maybe the best favor we could do for Pernell this weekend was to bring Roy Jones to town and station him right here at ringside, where he can serve as a constant reminder to Whitaker what his central motivation is. That designation as the best pound-for-pound fighter in the world. Harold Letterman, how'd you have it scored?
Jim, 68-65, 5 rounds to 2, Pernell Whitaker. Jim, I agree with you. I think that he's just dominating this fight since about the 3rd round. I mean, Gary Jacobs comes in with that right jabs, lunges forward, and gets nailed with a real good left hand, a good right hook. Pete's landing the cleanest, sharpest shots. But I want to tell you, the dude is terrified of the officials. 3 judges from outside the United States. You never know. They could be looking at the brawl.
Both of you, no holding.
3 judges from outside the Continental 48. Harold, one of the 3 is from Hawaii.
All right, I'll go along with that.
All right, you must. Whitaker tripled up on Jacobs in power shots in round 7. He landed 18 power punches to 6 for Jacobs.
Jacob has slowed down a considerable amount. Now he can't land the punches he was landing earlier. Whitaker's body shots are starting to have a decent amount of effect on him, I think.
And Jacobs, who was able to get to Whitaker's body in the first couple of rounds, has been headhunting for the past 3 or 4. Taking hard punches like that for his trouble.
Stop punch.
And headhunting is usually another symptom of frustration setting in.
Work your way out.
Whitaker taking his time here in round number 8. Jacobs coming in without punching, and you leave yourself open for stuff like that. No shortage of heart for Gary Jacobs, but the skill gap has been increasingly a factor in the fight.
Work your way out. You're locked up. Stop punching.
Experience will start to set in here a little too. When a guy as experienced as Pernell in championship fights gets comfortable at this pace of the fight, everything starts to go his way. As you can see, Gary can't even land a punch.
Now you, baby. Now you're doing it, baby. Now you're doing it.
That's what I want you to do. That's what I want you to do. Let the bullshit with this guy a little bit, all right? Go ahead and bullshit with it. Go ahead and clown with it. But look, in the center of the ring, not on the ropes, okay?
Here's the punch stat number profile of the first 4 rounds of the fight versus the second 4 rounds of the fight.
Okay?
And you'll see that in the first 4 rounds, Jacobs was quite competitive, throwing a similar number of punches and landing at a higher percentage than Whitaker. Now go down to rounds 5 through 8. Whitaker's percentage goes up, Jacobs' percentage goes down, as does his punch output. Those rounds belong entirely to Sweet Pea Whitaker.
Let's go out there and fight like the winner, son. Fight like the winner.
Go out and do it. You can, Gary, save everybody and yourself a lot of aggravation. Right, go out and take it, gumshoe.
Round 9 begins. By punch stat numbers, Gary Jacobs was able to land only 6 of 39 punches in the 8th.
Gotta stop holding or someone's gonna lose a point. Box.
The corner told Jacob to go in and fight like a winner, but it's very hard to fight like a winner when you're in there against one of the best winners of all time.
I don't know what it means even.
Well,
Fight like a winner. You got to give a guy some clue about what to do that's a little bit more focused than just say fight like a winner.
You got a point there.
Yeah, maybe they're out of fresh ideas.
Fight like a winner. Now you figure out how.
Any thoughts on this referee, Roy, Ron Lipton? We haven't seen him at this level before.
Well, he's doing a pretty good job right now. He didn't let them fight much on the inside at first, but I think he got some instructions from somewhere to let them fight more on the inside. So I say he's doing a real good job for his first time in my eyes.
I think Larry Hazard, the New Jersey commissioner, at one point suggested to the referee to let him fight a little bit more on the inside.
Gary Jacobs with a chance here to make a statement as Whitaker waits in the corner, but Pernell loves to showboat in this situation and demonstrate his defensive skills, and he got away with one there.
See, people don't understand that when you showboat like this, it just gives you confidence, just helps you get more into what you're doing, and it makes the fights much, much more fun for us than as to other athletes.
So he's entertaining himself.
Yes.
And staying motivated for the last 3 rounds of the fight.
That's right, because it's very hard sometimes to stay motivated when you fight a guy such as Gary Jacobs.
Pernell says, what am I going to do with this guy? He's like a camel. You don't know where to sit on him.
Sit on the hump, you got a better view. That's the punch he should be using right there. Now notice Jacob is on the outside now. He's not trying hard to get in like he was earlier.
Right, he doesn't have a chance out here.
Right.
Pernell Whitaker from the outside can school Gary Jacobs. That's what he's doing.
Stop push. Step back, please.
9 rounds down, and it's not getting any better for Scotsman Gary Jacobs against Sweet Pea Whitaker.
That's the way you win rounds.
And the natives are restless.
Head back. Close your eyes. That's it. That's the discipline that's going to win this fight.
All right. Gary, please, you've got a 3-round fight. A 3-round fight which can change the course of your life. Okay? Yeah. All right? Now go and do it.
Give him a gargle. Give him a gargle.
Don't spit out. Let me get the bucket.
He's walking right in. You can't miss this guy with combinations. Straight punches. You ain't got to do nothing fancy with this guy. Okay. As soon as they get close, go with the hooks. Okay. The hooks are right there all day long. You're fine. All right? Let's go on with round what you did the last round. You understand? He's going to be a bit different. All right? You really want to fight?
Please.
That's it. Nice and progressive.
That was the first time I seen Whitaker get hit with that hook in a couple of rounds now. And that's very good because he did start to defend against it. I saw him catch it on his gloves a couple of times. And those are the type of adjustments that true champions know how to make during the course of a fight.
Stop punching. Step back.
You heard Ronnie Shields telling Whitaker to wait for Jacobs to walk in and then hit him with hooks. Whitaker content now to stand away from Jacobs and simply pop him with the jab over and over.
Keep him up, Gary. Stop punching. Keep him up. Box.
Jacobs with enough energy left to punch his way in again.
You're up the back of his head, Gary. Work your way out.
Being right-handed, I can imagine that Gary Jacob has a very hard right jab.
Step back, please. No punch. You're on a break. Let me get out. Box. Work your way out. Your hands are free. Fight your way out.
Well, he's clearly one of those natural right-handers who expects that fighting as a southpaw will maximize the effect of his jab and his hook.
Yeah, but it's very hard to get your shoulder cocked to throw a power shot when your shoulder's already forward at your opponent.
Get off his kidney.
Michael Moore is a natural right-hander who fights southpaw. De La Hoya is a natural southpaw who fights right-handed.
Both have developed power hands, though. Michael Moore has a very good straight left, even though he's right-handed.
And De La Hoya can throw the right cross.
Right.
And this guy has not developed his left hand
at all. So he's like a one-handed fighter with the powerful hand being in front.
And there's a hard right hand from Jacobs that backs Whitaker up into the ropes.
Yes, but he also ate a left hand.
Whitaker lashing back. Another hard left hand for Pernell.
Watch it. Box.
He's been able to land his left cross consistently for the last 7 rounds.
Stop punching. I'm telling you to keep off the back of his head, okay? Let's go! Box!
Hard work with the right hand there by Gary Jacobs, keeping himself mentally in the fight. And Whitaker again takes advantage of Jacobs rushing in. Coming up immediately following tonight's coverage of World Championship Boxing, stay tuned for First Degree on the East Coast and the Tuskegee Airmen on the West Coast. HBO original movie production of the Tuskegee Airmen starring Larry Fishburne. First Degree with Rob Lowe.
You're just punch like you want to hurt this fucking guy. You understand? Yeah. He's standing between you and everything.
Gary, you got that fucking hold. Yeah, but you got nothing to lose. Free yourself.
Come on.
Free yourself. All right?
Listen, I could have taken a point away, but I didn't. All right. Keep it clean. Okay. All right? How we feel? All right, then, baby. Let's go.
Let's go. Come on, 11th round, baby. 11th round.
Both hands moving. Keep the hand moving. Both hands. Keep trying to punch over here.
Step back. Take a look at an exchange here. A right hook by Jacobs, followed by a left hook by Whitaker.
Work your way out.
The Jacobs right was one of his best punches since early in the fight. And you heard Mickey Duff pleading with his fighter to come up with something new that'll change his life. Harold Letterman, how'd you score the first 10?
Jim, 97-93, 7 rounds to 3, Pernell Whitaker. I think he's landing the cleaner, harder shots. Gary Jacobs is rushing in with that right hand, landing an occasional good right hand. Once in a while a left. He's got a very poor left hand, but for the better part, it's all Pernell Whitaker.
And they're calling it a knockdown. 3 consecutive title defenses, or 3 consecutive title fights, I should say, in which Pernell Whitaker has been knocked down. Knocked down by Buddy McGirt at this weight. Knocked down at 154 pounds by Julio Cesar Vasquez. And now Gary Jacobs is credited with an 11th round knockdown of Pernell Whitaker here.
Well, I think the referee really didn't know what had happened. And when he saw Whitaker hit the canvas, I think this gave him an indication that maybe Whitaker was mad at himself for getting knocked down. If Whitaker didn't get knocked down, I think it was a slip.
I think he was thrown and slipped.
I don't know what happened. I didn't see any punch that looked like a knockdown punch.
Well, it's Rashomon here. We've got 3 different versions, right?
Right.
I say throw and slip. Roy says slip, and you say who knows.
The replay will tell all. But it won't. It'll still count as a knockdown no matter what the replay shows.
5th time in Pernell Whitaker's career that he's been knocked to the canvas. Rafael Williams, Roger Mayweather, Buddy McGirt, Julio Cesar Vasquez, and now Gary Jacobs.
Stop punching. Step back.
But he doesn't stay down. Oh, he hurt Jacobs in.
And he decides then, What's good for the goose is good for the gander, so down goes Jacobs.
Yes, but he did
And there is a very bad cut now.
Yep.
Jacobs' eyelid, over Jacobs' eyelid, right eyelid, but it isn't bleeding.
Oh, and Pernell is able to target the right eye again with that roundhouse left.
Jacob is very weak now. Pernell can knock him out if he catches him with a good, clean left hand. But he has to time it.
Jacobs appears to have given just about all he's got. Next to last round here.
Stop punch! Stop punch! Box.
Crowd chanting, sweet pea, sweet pea, sweet pea. Maybe hoping that he'll get angry enough to try for a knockout.
Well, we're going to take a look at that alleged knockdown. Let's see what happens. Nothing happened. It was a right to the rib, to the high rib, and it was a kind of a push and a half punch. It certainly was not a knockdown.
He was off balance because he missed with a big power shot.
Right. It will count as a knockdown. It wasn't a knockdown.
Hell yeah, you can get a bill.
Come
Get 10 bills.
Come on.
Look.
Give me a little case, baby.
All right, let's go.
Come on.
Let's go out there and put both hands on this boy, all right?
Relax, don't take no chances. Fight the way you want to fight, understand? But don't take no chances.
You want to stay on. Come on, man. Come on. Come on.
Move those hands. Move those hands. Move those hands.
British fans in the crowd chanting for their man, Gary Jacobs. Ron Lipton holds the fighters apart, and now round 12 begins.
The one thing I also like about Pernell Whitaker, even though he didn't get knocked down in that round, was besides him, him, Larry Holmes, Felix Trinidad, maybe the best three fighters that I've ever seen at coming back from a knockdown.
Felix Trinidad, a hard-punching welterweight star. Ike Cortez, another one in that division. You sincerely hope that before Pernell Whitaker finishes his career, we'll get a chance to see him in the ring with Cortez and Trinidad.
Both which would be very good fights. Both fighters are very good fighters. Both would make Pernell, would bring out the best in Pernell. And this is what people like he and myself like to see.
Both have the punching power to raise questions about Whitaker's chin.
Yeah, but those big punches usually get caught up on trying to get to Whitaker's chin, and they never hit him.
Here, Whitaker seems interested, at least, in doing as much damage as he can do here in the 12th round. Jacobs holding on.
He has beaten Gary's body to where Gary's really weak now.
Let him go. Break! Stop punching. Clean break. Box. Stop holding.
Gary wore himself out early with his own style of fighting. Whitaker sat back, had the patience, let him wear himself down. Break. Then now he's taking him to school.
So it's one thing to run 4-minute miles, but yet another to go 12 rounds with a fighter the caliber of Whitaker.
Hold it. Box.
As they say, this ain't no track meet.
It's a swap meet.
Stop punching. Step back. Tough. 1 point.
And they were swapping fairly evenly early, and now Lipton takes a point away from Gary Jacobs for holding and hitting.
Which is not really effective because he's taken a very good school lesson today, and he will be taking it for the rest of this fight.
Well, that makes up for the no knockdown. Right? We're even.
Yeah.
Whitaker pounding away as the fight comes to a close.
Stop punching. Step back.
Crowd cheering as though it would have liked to have seen 12 rounds of this. But Pernell had to soften Gary Jacobs up for a while.
Oh, there you go.
This became possible.
I told you.
5, 6, 7, 8. Look at it. Are you okay? Step forward.
fight should be stopped.
He knows how to close the show.
Like I told you, if he kept walking into the left hand, he was going to go down.
Fighter cannot be saved by the bell in any round under these rules. So Whitaker could still go for the knockout right there at the end, but Jacobs got up before the count of 10.
And that becomes a 3-point round for Pernell Whitaker. 2 points for those knockdowns, 1 point taken away from the challenger. Okay.
Pernell Whitaker treating his fans to a display of punching power to punctuate this 12-round performance against Gary Jacobs. And I think Whitaker enjoyed that there at the end.
I think he did too, because people have been questioning his punching power lately, and he wanted to show that he still possessed some knockout power.
He wanted to show you. He turned around and looked directly at you as soon as he got Jacobs onto the canvas.
Well, like I said, we are one another's inspiration right now. We make one another want to desire to be the best that we can be. And that helped Pernell out, and it will help me come September 30th when I stop all mail delivery by knocking out the postman.
The punching postman Tony Thornton against Roy Jones here on HBO the evening of September 30. Too bad you won't be able to do commentary while you fight him.
Well, I can help you out a little. Just watch my mouth every now and then.
Okay. I'll do the lip reading. Larry Merchant has gone into the ring to get ready for post-fight interviews. So, Roy, let's go through these replays. This is where Whitaker hurts him.
A counter left hand over the top of his jab, which Whitaker had been landing all night. Boom. There's the left hand. I told you if Gary kept walking into the left hand, there would be a knockdown or a knockout. He walked right into it, and he got knocked down.
Now, boom. Here's the second knockdown. And frankly, Lipton could have stopped it to protect Gary Jacobs from further punishment at any time.
Yeah, because Whitaker was hitting him with some very clean power shots. And right there you can see it's just follow-up work, which is the way you're supposed to finish a guy.
I'm sure as a matter of pride that Jacobs wanted to finish the fight, but Lipton certainly wouldn't have been beyond his best judgment if he had gone ahead and effected a stoppage there and given Pernell a 12th round KO. And now let's go up to the ring announcer Michael Buffer for the official particulars on this decision. And we're going to have a brief delay as there is apparently a commission problem. Could be that some of the judges were confused by the ending of the bout and wondering whether Lipton did in fact rule a KO. Gary Jacobs, terrific guy. We really enjoyed talking with him yesterday.
Very nice guy, something that you rarely see in boxing nowadays.
Oh, come on. They're everywhere, Roy.
Yeah, they are.
And here's Pernell basking in some appreciation from his fans. Mickey Duff talking with Larry Hazard of the commission. Duff is the manager of Gary Jacobs, and obviously he feels as though he has an argument to mount here.
Yeah. All right. Hey, Mickey.
Now watch Pernell Whitaker walk the boardwalk for about 45 minutes yesterday, Roy, and only a few people wandered up to say hello. He has never gone hard for the celebrity aspect of this. He thinks of himself simply as a professional fighter, not necessarily a celebrity or a star. Final punch stat numbers, and you can see that Pernell got himself up to 45% as a connect percentage in the fight. Jacobs, who was close to 50% for the first 4 rounds, winds up down at 38%. Jabs, and Pernell dominated this category, throwing 75 more jabs and landing 53 more than Gary Jacobs. And now Michael Buffer is ready for the official particulars.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 12 rounds of boxing, we go to the scorecards. Gus Mercurio scores the bout 118 to 109. Tomatsu Tamihara scores the bout 118 to 107. And Takeaki Kanaya scores at 117 to 109 for the winner by unanimous decision, And still, welterweight champion of the world, Pernell Sweet Pea Whitaker.
36 wins, 1 loss, 1 draw now. The official record for Whitaker. Unofficially, you can look at him as being 38-0, since most of us believe that he's won every one of those fights in which he was involved. 10th straight 12-round decision in a title fight, although apparently the delay in announcing this decision had to do with the belief on the part of some commission members that Whitaker had indeed scored a knockout there at the end of the 12th round. But in the end, no KO, another unanimous decision, and another chance for our Larry Merchant to talk to Pernell Sweet Pea Whitaker. Larry?
All right, Pernell, congratulations. So are you disappointed, or how disappointed that that wasn't scored as a knockout?
Well, not disappointed, but a little. You know, I could have stood the knockout.
I mean, it was a kind of ugly fight for you, wasn't it? And that might have made it prettier.
Well, no, it wasn't really an ugly fight. You can't take anything away from Gary Jacobs. You know, everybody trains hard for the best. So, you know, I give him credit for all the hard work that he put up. That's what I say. I never take anyone for granted.
How frustrating was it in against a kind of mauling, brawling southpaw?
I love that kind of game. You know, I got different. You know, it's not the way. It's not styles beat fighters. So, you know, I just had to suck it up. You know, just see what he had and then be able to all counter it later in the round.
All right, we're going to take a look at those knockdowns at the end of the 12th round. You saved the best for last. Was that deliberate, or did he just leave himself exposed trying to get to you at the end?
Just a matter of time, Larry. You know, I was trying to set myself up for those shots all night, but you know, it was a little awkward at first. And then, you know, once I found him, you know, starting from the bottom, once I found him, you know, it was no problem from there. You know, and I hit him with everything. I don't know why he got up.
Well, do you think that those 2 knockdowns might have saved your belt as the best pound-for-pound fighter around?
No, not at all. I don't think so, Larry. You know, it was a great another one of my perfect performances. And, you know, nothing, like I said, nothing can take away from pound for pound, because the fans vote that, you know. And if everyone that watched it on HBO saw Pernell Whitaker one more time.
That's our station.
Wait, let me ask you this then finally. There are several fights out there that would seem to be really good, big fights for Pernell Whitaker. We're talking about Chavez, of course, who we've talked about for quite a long time, a rematch. And, of course, 2 very good, young, undefeated welterweights in their own right, Felix Trinidad and Ike Quartet. Your thoughts about them? Who would you like to fight next, first, second, whatever?
It really doesn't matter to me, Larry. You know, I never duck or never choose who I fight. You know, and the next, you know, is once everybody comes together, you know, we'll get somebody on the table or someone assigned without shaking their hands.
Well, who do you want most?
Well, obviously the fighters, you know, for the fans. The Chavez fight, you know, that's the only reason why I'm still fighting. I think the fans deserve to see Pernell Whitaker, and I fight to entertain the fans. You know, everything's been completed for Pernell Whitaker. I'm just having fun.